Okay, add and subtract rational expressions. Day 1. So we're going to start off with some simple ones and move to more complex. So remember, when adding and subtracting fractions, you need to get a common denominator. Okay? Now, are the denominators the same? Yes. This group is the same as this group. So we can just start subtracting. So we're going to have n minus 3n minus 1 over, and the denominator stays the same. Okay, let's simplify. This is a 1 in front of the n, so combining like terms, we get 1 minus 3, which is negative 2n minus 1 over n minus 2. And there we have added these two rational expressions. We have added them together. Okay, number 2. Need to get a common denominator. The denominators are not the same. So let's start with the numbers. 2 and 4. What's a common denominator for 2 and 4? Well, for 2 and 4, the common denominator would be 4. 2 goes into 4 evenly, and 4 goes into 4 evenly. Okay, we have an x squared and an x. So we want to go with the larger one. Always go with the larger one. So x squared is going to be our common denominator. Okay, so how did the denominator change? It went from 2x squared to 4x squared. So it multiplied by 2. So if the denominator multiplied by 2, the numerator needs to multiply by 2. So 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, 4x to 4x squared. So this multiplied by x. I should use a dot. This multiplied by x. 4x times x is 4x squared. So 5 times x is 5x. Okay. Instead of using x, I need to use a dot. Okay, now that we have a common denominator, we can go ahead and add them. So the denominator stays the same. Adding the top, 2 plus 5x, they're not like terms, so they stay separate, but in a group. And we're done. We should be looking to see if we can simplify, but we can't. Number 3. Common denominator. We have x plus 2 and x minus 2. These are groups, so you have to look at them like this. Are the groups the same? No. Okay, so to get a common denominator, the easiest way to get a common denominator is to multiply these together. So we're going to have x plus 2 times x minus 2. X plus 2 times x minus 2. Now, are the denominators the same? Yes. Okay, so what did I multiply the denominator by? We multiplied this denominator by x minus 2 to go down here. So x minus 2 is what we multiplied it by. So we have to multiply the numerator by x minus 2. So we're going to have 3 times x minus 2. Okay, don't multiply them together. Leave it all in factored format. Okay, on this side, we multiplied x minus 2 times x plus 2. So if we multiply the denominator by x plus 2, we need to multiply the numerator by x minus 2. So we would have 8 times x plus 2. Okay, now we're ready to subtract since we have a common denominator. So the denominator stays the same. Okay, and we want to subtract these. Now at this point, since we're combining, I'm going to go ahead and distribute this here. 3x minus 6. I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 8, so 8x plus 16. Okay, so we're going to have 3x minus 6 minus, we're subtracting this group, 8x plus 16. Yes, you do need to put it in parentheses because we're subtracting. We're subtracting the whole group. Okay, which means we have to distribute this subtraction sign. We have to distribute it onto both of these terms. So we're going to call this negative 1, and we're going to distribute the negative 1 onto each one. So we get 3x minus 6 minus 8x minus 16, distributing the negative 1. Okay, not done yet. Let's go down below. Combining like terms, 3x minus 8x, negative 6 minus 16, and that is our answer. If you have any questions on this, please see me in class. Turn the page over. Okay, now a little bit more complicated. We have x squared minus 9. You should recognize this as x plus 3, x minus 3. Okay, when getting a common denominator, you want to make sure that your denominator is completely factored on both sides of the plus. Okay, so getting a common denominator. Okay, we have an x plus 3 and an x minus 3, and then we have over here x minus 3. So what do they have in common? They have x minus 3 in common, so that's going to be one of our terms in the denominator. Okay, so those they have in common, common denominator. But this one has an x plus 3. So guess what? This one needs one as well. Now the denominators are the same. Remember, I took the common one, I wrote it down. Then this one had an extra factor that this one didn't have, so I had to add it, put it on this side where it belongs, and add it on to this side. Okay, so since the denominator stayed the same, the numerator stays the same. Okay, the denominator changed. It got multiplied by x plus 3. So the numerator, which is a group, gets multiplied times x plus 3. So since we are combining on the top, we are going to want to FOIL this. Okay, we are going to want to FOIL this. So let's FOIL it real quick. X times x, x squared. Outer, that's first terms. Outer terms is 3x. Inner terms is negative 7x. Last terms is negative 21. FOILed it. Now, Let's go ahead and bring over our common denominator. Stays the same. Now numerator, we're going to combine like terms. First of all, x squared has nothing to combine it with. 8x plus 3x is 11x. 11x minus 7x is 4x. And minus 21. Okay, now this is where you're going to get real happy real fast, because now we're going to actually have to start simplifying our answers a little bit here. So we've added the two expressions together, but this, if you use the x factor, this will factor to x plus 7 and x minus 3. Okay, now, so this becomes that. Why? Well, I'm trying to simplify my answer. Those cancel, so we get x plus 7 on the top, x plus 3 on the bottom, and we're done. If this stuff makes you sick to your stomach, expect a lot more of it in pre-cal, especially pre-AP. You can do it. I believe in you. Okay, number 5. Going to go a little bit faster here. Let's see. 6 and 2 make 12. We need a positive middle. So factoring that out. Okay, getting a common denominator. Okay, the x plus 6 is common. This one has an x minus 2. This one needs it. Denominator didn't change. Numerator doesn't change. The denominator changed by x minus 2. So we're going to multiply the numerator times x minus 2. First terms, outer terms, inner terms, last terms. Okay, denominator stays the same. Okay, remember this is a group. We're going to distribute the negative onto both of them. So this is going to be minus x squared and minus 3. Okay, so 2x squared minus x squared is 1x squared. 3x minus 4x is negative 1x. Negative 6 minus 3. Remember, I distribute that negative onto both of them, is minus 9. Okay, now we have to check. Can we factor this? And will those factors cancel any of these? So I'm looking at 5 and 4, minus 5, because the middle term is negative, plus 4. Whoa, I've lost my mind. 5 times 4 is not 20. What is wrong with me? How about 3 and 3? No, that's not going to work. I think that's it. I don't think that we can factor that and get these factors down below to cancel. So we're going to go ahead and stop here. Lost my mind. Okay, time's about running out. But notice, on the bottom, what do 5 and 25 go into evenly? That's right, not 22. I'm in a rush. X squared here needs an x squared. Y and y squared, we go with the bigger one.